Hey, this is Chris with Godhead Gaming. I'm here with Phil. We got a chance to play Evolve. It's everything I'm hoping it to be. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm going to have Phil give us some words on what the game's about and what we can expect.
Cool. So Evolve is 4 versus 1, cooperative and competitive at the same time, right? So you've got 4 cooperative hunters. If you've played Left 4 Dead, you'll feel very comfortable playing the hunters. You know, it's a cooperative experience. They got to work together. Versus 1 giant player-controlled monster. Yeah, and that's pretty much the high level, you know.
Okay, great. Now, we've seen only a couple of the monsters revealed. What is going to be, you know, are there going to be 10 of them, 12 of them? Or how many different monsters are there going to be to choose from?
So the finished game will have 3 monsters and 12 hunters and over a dozen maps.
Okay, great. Now, I got to play as the support. Cool wristband. There's going to be 4 classes. Can you kind of go into detail about what each class is about, what advantages they're going to have, and what they bring to the team?
Absolutely. So first class, probably the most straightforward, is the assault class. And they are there to dish out damage, right? Just kick ass. They have a personal shield that they can pop, you know, at a critical moment, which basically makes them immune to damage for, you know, a certain amount of time, short amount of time. But yeah, their job is just get in there and deal as much damage to the monster as possible. The next one is Medic, another very straightforward class. The Medic, their job is to keep the team, you know, the rest of the teammates in the fight. The nice thing about our Medics, though, is they're not just like healing guns, right?
Not heal bots?
Right, they're not heal bots. They have a lot of offensive capabilities, too. That Val, one of the Medics, has a tracking dart. You know, it's a tranquilizer / tracking dart. She also has a anti-material rifle, which basically can make weak spots in the monster's hide that the rest of her team can shoot at and do extra damage to the monster. Lazarus has something very similar. Then we've got the Trapper, whose job is, 1, to track down the monster using, you know, various pieces of equipment or following tracks. And then once they find the monster, the Trapper's job is to try to limit the monster's movement in some way. You know, whether that be with harpoons or, you know, some kind of trap. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So then the last class is the support class. The support class is basically the glue that holds the team together. The support class provides sort of advantages, like buffs in a way, to the team's capabilities. So to give you an example, Hank, one of our support class, has a shield gun that he can basically beam at one of his teammates.
That's the class I played.
Right, to prevent any damage. Right? As long as his shield gun has energy, he can point that at his teammates and prevent damage. So the way he supports the team is very sort of defensive. Now, Bucket, on the other hand, is another support class. He is able to throw out sentry drones and essentially make a very inhospitable place for the monster to fight. And so the way he helps his team is very offensive. And then, of course, you have the monster, you know.
So when we played, the monster only made it look like, I know they have 3 levels that they evolve to. And can you kind of go into how that's going to work and how that's going to play into the game?
Sure. So when you start your stage 1, essentially at stage 1 you're at a bit of a numbers disadvantage. You know, at stage 1 you really want to be careful when you engage the hunters. A lot of stage 1 monsters will just sort of run and eat the wildlife, right? And the more you eat, the more energy you get. And once your evolve meter fills up, you can go to stage 2. So yeah, at stage 1 you're at a bit of a disadvantage. A good monster player can, you know, engage the hunters at stage 1, and some can even win at stage 1, which is, you know, we want that. We want a good, skilled monster player to be able to win at stage 1. But that's not the ideal time for the monster to fight them, right? So the hunters want to find the monster as soon as possible because that's when he's at his weakest. So at stage 2, from a numbers standpoint, they're kind of even, right? A well-coordinated team of hunters versus a good monster at stage 2 is a pretty good fight, right? I mean, that's pretty even, and it could be anybody's game. If the hunters fail to find and kill the monster before, by that time, he can go to stage 3. At which point, the tables kind of turn. The monster becomes, numbers-wise, a bit more powerful than the hunters. So essentially, the hunters become the hunted, and and that's the point where the monster can really bring the fight to the hunters. It's not a guaranteed win. You still have to play well, because the thing about the way the stages works is that, say at stage 1 you have 100 hit points, right? I mean, you have more than that, but if you take 50 damage, when you go to stage 2, you'll get another 100 points, but so your total will be only 150 as opposed to 200, if you hadn't got damaged at all. The other thing about the monsters as they stage up is they're able to allocate points to different abilities. So at stage 1 you have a certain number of points, and you can spread those out amongst the 4 abilities. So at stage 1 you could have a wider array of less powerful abilities, or you can pump all your points into one and have one like uber powerful ability.
Great. Now, the game was a blast. We can't wait for it to come out. When is the release date?
February 10th, 2015.